Here we are. Ciao ragazzi, if we have Marcello. Benvenuti, welcome guys, here with this watch along Italy versus Romania. Ottavio here and Mike. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. How you doing? You well?
Really good, and I see that we are streaming on two different platforms today. We're going to be on Twitter and YouTube, so you can find us on Twitter, of course, and also on YouTube. We are start growing with our YouTube channel, and I saw already that Phantom on our friend Phantom from Devon is already texting us because we are 2-3 minutes late. Italian style, we can say. Italian style a little bit.
Yeah, we just took it chill here. Exciting times, unexplored times, territory for us as well in terms of hosting on both sides. So excited to see how this goes.
Mike, we have this big game coming, 8 minutes to the start, and that's great. Now, finally, we see Capots again, Odogu, Lamb. We spoke a little bit the other day, but what do you expect from the team?
Yeah, so I think we're probably going to see. I'm hoping we'll see sort of full of confidence, a team full of confidence, and there's some players who are probably still trying to firm up their position because there's always players behind them, so they're always looking behind them. But I think it's probably going to be a good opportunity for us to really show sort of what we're about. So I'm relatively confident. I think we're in a good spot, and I'm just excited by this one. This one's just pure excitement, no nerves.
Yeah, that's true. We have to be focused 100% on the performance, as Crowley said too. It's really important for us to show a good flow of game, no rustiness also in some different position, like bringing back Maurice at 12 after the experiment with Menoncello was our maybe first choice. Who knows, or maybe it was something like a tricky moment showing Menoncello there and then doing something different. Who knows how was planned the use of Menoncello during this, but of course there was space in this team for him. Now we're going to see the new Italians. We're going to see our friend Seb Negri playing in this game. Happy for him. So let's see. In San Benedetto del Tronto, which usually is not like a rugby city, it's not Treviso, it's not Florence, Firenze, but it's really a welcoming, warm place to stay. Also, the captain spoke about how important is this area now after this different week.
Yeah, and I think this, we spoke about it before, but I think it's really important for Italy to go around like the whole of Italy with these warm-up games, and hopefully we're going to see it in the autumn and we'll see it in the summer next year, because obviously it is a growing game, and right now it's obviously very secluded to the northeast. So it'd be really good to try and open up. Yeah, exactly. And where better to do it in a place which it's peak of tourist season, just after Ferragosto as well. So yeah, I'm excited by this one.
Something that I have to say, there are some spots at the stadiums. You can see some empty seats. That sucks a little bit because it's always important. But let's see. Hopefully, this result, the match is gonna be enjoyable for everywhere in Italy and overseas for the Italian supporters. So let's see how it goes here. But here, I see now the players entering in the field, so we are almost there.
So for me, I'll pause. They've just lined up for the anthems.
Okay, so we're gonna connect on the same moment. So
it's not let me pause.
Well, don't worry. You're gonna be a little bit forward than me, so you can tell me something. Show all your emotions. It's not a bit.
I was gonna say I don't have to give too much away. But with regards to the empty seats, I think we need to stress that it's not a typical Italian city.
That's
quite football dominated city. So I'm going to be excited to see sort of the attendance numbers, but I think like it's. I was always expecting a few empty seats on this one, to be honest.
And somebody says it's only Romania. Well, let's say something. The Romanian immigrants in Italy is a good piece of the migration on the last 20 years. So they're really connected. We're almost speaking pretty similar languages. So that's true. That's really important. There is always been a connection, Italy, Romania, in some way. In some way, there has always been. And let's see how it goes. Let me see what. Well, versus Japan, there will be more. Of course, in Treviso, it's going to be full, but for the same reason, Treviso is going to be a rugby stadium in a rugby city. So, of course, it's going to be completely packed in this case. But let's see how we're going to reflect in this. We're going to have Faiva too in this game. So, which are the challenge for you, Mike? Which are the players to watch in this game?
I think the challenges for us as a team is just a complete performance over the full 80 minutes. I think you mentioned yesterday, we need to have, the same mentality from moment one to, the 80th minute. And I think something that most tier one nations have is this winning mentality and, a cutthroat mentality. And that's something that I think we're slowly developing. But I think, that's something that we need to sort of almost like speed up before the World Cup, because teams haven't been afraid to put their foot on our neck. And if this is going to be a game where we're confident going into it, we need to do the same.
Absolutely, we need to do the same. We have to approach as a big team. We can say, like, also if we don't have all the experience, but we need to be strong in every side of the ball, on and off, attack, defense. We need to be really 100% focused on this. I would like to remember everybody that can follow us. They can subscribe to the YouTube channel, or on Twitter that they can follow us at Italian Rugby Pod, or you can follow Mike on Italian Rugby Forum and me at Ottavio Arenella Rugby Cocciotto on YouTube. And then let's see, Mike, you are ready because you're.
I'm focused. Just going back to the point where you're asking players to watch out for. I think it's going to be a very important game for Alessandro Garbisi. I think it's going to be a really important game for full score as well, because this could potentially make us take all four scrum halves like South Africa. So eyes on Garbisi, and for a first as well, the first ever brother partnership at 9 and 10 for Italy ever. So making history regardless. And I think there's probably going to be some eyes on, like you said, Murisi, and see how he adapts. I say how he adapts, but I'm sure he thought he was probably going to have a bit of a rest. Neymar as well. Massive game for him. Massive game for him. Hasn't played since December, right?
Right. So the big expectation are on him, I think, because we were thinking who's gonna be the third. Is it fair to call him? I think he is learning, still keep learning from mistakes, and that's great. And now we want to see him not off the field. We want to see him playing well, playing for Italy. So let's see how they're gonna be the field. Pretty tough first row, we can say. Ferrari, Faiva, and Nemer. Whoa, no, something that we saw last year at Treviso.
And obviously always excited to see like a Dogwu, and as a Quins fan, I know what Dino Lam can do, and it'd be nice to see sort of how he gets on without Ruzza on the field. So let me know where you're at. For me, they've just finished the Italian national anthem.
Oh, well, look, I am a little bit earlier. I saw now the smile of
I can pause it
now.
So. I can pause it. So
nice.
I'll tell you what, let me wait until it's right at the kickoff, and then I'll pause for you to catch up.
And also, Mike, let's give a clue to our listeners, our viewers. This week we're gonna we have the pleasure to have one of the players in the field today.
Yeah. I mean, one of our
We're gonna
mystery
have-
guests.
Yes, one of our mystery guests. So, guys, you have to figure out who's the mystery guest, and I would like to remember everybody to listen Fratelli di Rugby podcast. You can follow us on Twitter, of course. We are on the page on Spotify, every audible platform, I can say. So you're gonna have a really good surprise on for the podcast, and that's it. I would like to say hi to Marcello, so if he's not here today with us, but he's the third part of the of Fratelli di Rugby. So ciao Marcello.
Yeah, and congratulations
with him.
to Marcello for
absolutely.
his 1,000 followers on Twitter. So yeah, well done, the boy.
Good achievement for the boy.
Right, I'm just about to pause.
Just
on
about to
wait for the
kick.
countdown. So, what would you have liked to have seen there for us differently?
So differently, this is the game where in a moment I want to see Fusco playing not at 9 in a moment of the game.
12, yeah.
I want to see Garbisi Fusco together in the field, just to understand the options. No, as Kieran Crowley said, we have options. So let's put Fusco there too. Let's move Ioane. Let's play Fusco 11 for 10 minutes. Just if you want to start analyzing your games today, the video analysis software that helps coach, analysts, and player is waiting for you on longomatch.com. But anyway,
Half time.
Mike, half time.
Yes.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So 31-7. Let me add our banner. But so if you have to tell me how was the game, and I didn't watch the game, what you can tell me?
Yeah, I think to summarize, it's a game where we're starting to see how we want to maybe like exit. We've seen a lot from Seb Negri, carry really aggressively in the 22 just to get some front football and giving us a platform to attack. And I think, we're probably going to see that a lot in the World Cup. And, it's really interesting to see sort of how we're looking to attack in their 22 now as well. Typically we go and try and stretch it and put it out to the wing, but there's been some nice intricate interplay between Garbisi and as in Alessandro Garbisi, Paolo
Garbitis.
and the Garbisi squad and and the centres. And like I said, we've seen what makes Paolo Dogu really dangerous as well. His low centre of gravity is hard to stop, and his willingness to get forward, which I think has been good. So if I had to summarise, I'd say, right, listen, it's a first half job done. Let's see what happens in the second half. Maybe we can start, like you said, trying to play out certain scenarios. If Maurici were to go off, like what would we do? And this is where we learn a little bit more about the team in the second half, and I'm hoping we see that personally.
Look, I agree with you. Something that we said during these early 40 minutes, maybe it's a little bit more accuracy on some passing wise after the break line, in general speaking, and then some kicks by Johan, I'm thinking, but in general to understand also Garbisi kicking at the post, but in general also sometimes trying to understand when is the time to kick that ball instead of overplaying, because I think we overplayed a couple of times in our 22 when we're not gonna have all the time this freedom to move the ball with this kind of pressure by a team like Romania, that is struggling. But at the end of the last 10 minutes, he put a little bit more of pressure, couple of tackles well done. We weren't organized, and they scored one try, and almost they did something else in the second.
Yeah,
one. So
credit where it's due with Romania as well. I think they're trying stuff clearly. They want to try and attack out the 22. Like we said, they're trying some different things out, and maybe that's because they know their strengths. And similar to us, it could be that they feel more confident, playing it out on the wing, and feel like that's an area where they can potentially do damage to us as much as we can do to them. So, I think this next half's going to be really interesting. I want to see hopefully like early changes. In for example with Lamaro, we know what he gives. We don't need to see any more.
That's true.
And maybe we do see sort of Lam at blind, or Ruta blind side. That would be really interesting as well. An additional sort of line-out option as well, and how we can adapt to that, and the different opportunities that we have to attack in a different manner. And yeah, I'm positive. It's a positive half, right? Like, we take it what it is. It's a positive half.
I think it's a positive half. We're never gonna be satisfied 100%, but it's the way Italian audience is made too sometimes. No, if we play well with not a so strong team, but the team was a bad team. If we won we play but we lose against a better team, but that was better. But let's try to be positive on something that we saw. 30 points in the first half. Job done. And Mike, everybody are walking on their feet, which is something
that's the most important thing, right? Like, I think we were joking, but I wasn't joking. I would take a 1 point win with no injuries, no yellow cards, no red cards, no suspensions. That genuinely, right? So next half is about precision. It's about precision, how precise we are, when we're going to play and attack, how precise we are when we're defending, so we can keep ourselves squeaky clean. And fingers crossed there's no horrible injuries that come of it. What I will say is the conditions there, having spoken to a couple of the players, we know it is scorching hot, like scorchingly hot. It's humid at the moment. We just saw in the changing rooms they're pouring like water, the substitutes pouring water over their head. So that's telling you how hot it is that these Italian players are struggling. Like, it is so hot. So it's going to be a good measure of our fitness as well. I think inevitably we're probably going to see a drop off at some point, just because of the heat and how hot it is, how much it's going to sap out of them. But I think it's going to be a really interesting second half.
Look, I'm gonna let you read this commentary by Phantom on our YouTube page, guys. We are streaming on Twitter and we are on YouTube. Paolo Garbisi, frankly shocking from the tee. Yes, it wasn't his best day since the starting of this game. And Carly has backbone. He needs to drop him to the bench. I don't agree with this, because he needs to play and kick those balls in the field, not only in training. So probably for that reason also, I think what Alan is going to give you from the tee and from the field. We saw Garbisi, not the best Garbisi that we saw in the recent couple of years, we can say, also with the Azzurri. So I think it's really important for him to be there, to keep playing. And then let's see, maybe today can be another game where we're gonna see later Garbisi Allan together. Let's see if they're gonna be some switch like Garbisi 12 or Allan 15 and Capozzo on the, because now maybe you can try something different. We can put Odogu as a Menoncello-ish in the middle of the field, like we saw. We can put Garbisi as a Morisi style, but with the break sense. So we can change a lot, and Capozzo on the wing. So you can really adapt something now.
Yeah, and just to Phantom's point as well, I think the difficulty is, he's played the vast majority of this season at 12, Paolo, and, Carbonell's been taking a lot of the kicking responsibilities, like, even out of hand, albeit if it was on the right side of the pitch, normally they'd use Paolo. But the point is, if we're not going to give him game time in a game like this, when are we going to give him game time? Because we probably need to put up a little bit more of a concise first team against Japan. No disrespect to Romania, but I think
Absolutely.
if we're not going to give him game time now ahead of the World Cup, I think we're going to struggle to find time. And I'd rather him make mistakes like the charge down in this game than against Namibia or Uruguay. So good to get these out of the way, in my opinion.
So, what do you think is gonna be the first change from the field? Who's gonna come in? Let me tell you which. Oh, let me share. Actually, let me share the team. We have Faiva, we have Zani and Ceccarelli, we have Federico Ruzza. Obviously, we have Lorenzo Cannone, Fusco, Allan, and the bright future Lorenzo Pani. Mike,
my man. I think it's going to be Zanni for Neymar. Like, although I'd like to see Neymar play the whole match, I don't think it's worth risking injury, because we know that there's not much between him and Fischetti. They're fantastic players. Nicotera, we know what we know what we get from him.
We need him.
Yeah,
game time Faiva. First change probably is there.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the first one. I think Zanni coming on as well. I think those two, and then Ferrari's been getting decent game time. Ceccarelli hasn't, so I think just a full swap at half time of the front row. Just let the boys play.
Interesting.
Cannone or Dino, either one of those two. Like, just let them. Dino maybe needs a little bit more game time, so it'd be interesting to see Dino Ruzza playing together. That'd be really interesting,
because we are expecting that pair of locks playing together.
Yeah, exactly.
Pani will come on for Capozzo. In the meantime, Phantom is writing us.
I see that. And also, go
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with that option that you just said, Phantom, right? Pani has a fantastic boot. Like, he has a fantastic boot. So we can change the way that we attack at that point. We can exit differently. We can look to play those 50-22s, especially if we have, potentially three players on the pitch that can kick. If Garbisi stays on and, we have find place for Alan, for example, that gives us so many different options. And again, it's just a good opportunity for us in the second half just to have a little play around with that.
Can you imagine if I'm trying to go against this option, can you see maybe Odogu out and moving Capozzo on the wing, or Pani on the wing, and keep Capozzo to give him game time now?
I can see that as
maybe we have to think also who's going to play the next game now.
Yeah, I would rather see Ioane off then. Give Odogu game time.
At 11. Nice.
Yeah, at 11. And then obviously put Capozzo at wing and potentially then see the dual playmaker. If we see Alan either at fullback or Alan at 10 and Maurici off, Garbisi 12. And I was making a joke yesterday on while she was streaming, saying we'll probably see full score at 12. I didn't mean out of choice, but I think out of injury we probably will see at some point him, because he slotted in there for Zibrev 2 or 3 games last season, right? So we know he can play there as well. It's what his position was prior to becoming a scrum half. So stuff like that. I'd love to see some
hybrid players in different positions.
Yeah, love him or hate him, Eddie Jones used to say, right, adapt, right? This is what's happened on the pitch, adapt, right? So we've lost our 12, we've lost our backup 12, adapt, and again, these are the games where we're able to do that.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting because now we have a different scenario, because we want to change players, but still we're gonna play with a 14-man game now for maybe other 8 minutes. So let's see if some of the changes are gonna arrive now, even with a player less in the field, we're gonna play without Lamaro for the next 6-8 minutes. And I'm really looking forward to see how we're going to react without the captain in the field, without Ruzza in the field. Of course, we know it's a shared captaincy as like a leadership, shared leadership, because we know there are players with more caps than our captain. Our captain has that charisma, that leadership that we want. But it's going to be interesting to see without the two guys that at least on the papers are captain and vice captain, no, Ruzza and Lamaro.
That's it. And I think, again, it'd be good to get those players who are part of the leadership team. We know Seba is, we know obviously Lamaro is, and Ruzza's been sort of captaining in the past few games. It's important to have to give them an opportunity to lead, right? Absolutely. Because of the reasons we gave at the start, the injuries happen, suspensions happen, all of this jazz. So it's important for us to ensure that we're like giving them time to lead.
They need time to lead. This is a good opportunity for them, and thinking about how much this team is going to change for the next. Already, I'm thinking there to the with Japan. If we're going to see some other. Like other opportunity to have a different leadership, no? Like maybe next week is gonna be maybe a Zuliani game. We're gonna see maybe a Ruzza game.
So looks like we're back, by the way.
Yep, let's go. Here we go. Bene, partita finita.
That's it. Job.
That's it.
No injuries, no red cards. What more can we ask for?
We scored loads of try. What we can ask more? Mike? More accuracy.
Yeah. I think like we obviously there's some rust, there's some cobwebs, there's some bits that we need to work on. Like I said, the conditions look torrid, like they look really hard. Hot, humid weather, sapping weather, and I think we could potentially, look at let's say the last sort of 20-30 minutes, and we could say that we got tired, we were trying some new combinations, there's lots of bits there, but I think I'm happy with that. There's not really much more for us to say there, is there?
No, you're right, because that I wasn't like I wasn't thinking about the situation with all the changes that we had, like position wise, and that's true. That is a factor in this, but it's a factor in our game, but also something common between the first half with like the eight with the best team possible almost in the field, and the second time half when it was completely never saw Italy until now, because we play with Fusco on the wing. We saw Garbisi, but we have to look better in our review also how Allan and Garbisi play together when Garbisi switch on 12. That probably it's one of the things we have to see for our next games, no? How they can work together there.
Yeah, and I think let's recap quick. We had Fusco on the wing,
Pani on the wing.
We had Pani on the wing. We had what other combinations 12? Did we have? Garbisi 12, Allan 10,
Cannone 7.
Yep.
Cannone 7.
Who else did we see out of position?
That's it, I think, because Ioane came back as 11 when Garbisi switch. So we've seen like some adaptability there, and that's what we wanted to see, right? And we had, like I said, we saw Big Seb do what Big Seb does, and Toa acting like a rugby league loose forward, just floating around, working. Dino Lamb had a good game.
Ruzza came on, immediately made an impact. If you look at it objectively, we saw a lot of players playing out of position. We weren't, direct playing as aggressively as we possibly can. Like we said, there were, opportunities where we were trying stuff up in midfield as opposed to going for the overlap out wide. And this is all in preparation for the upcoming games against Japan. This is a nice confidence booster. The boys done well, but there's some stuff that they can take out of it, and I think there's some stuff that they need to look at, like getting charged down. The fact that they were getting some options and opportunities on pin runners off the ruck. That's sort of it, really, isn't it? I'm quite happy with all of that. What are your thoughts on, if you had to sort of summarize?
My thoughts is that we want to run, and it's great. Seems like in general, I saw good fitness in the team. That is something that I would like to highlight. They seems ready to. Also, this is the work they are doing with George Petrakos, the former Scotland national team strength and conditioning coach. So we're preparing in a specific way with him. We saw how some players, the more minutes they play, better they are in the field. Alafi, Sabnegri, thinking also Dino Lamb, actually, much better than the last time. But I saw in a good shape also people like Zani, for example. I saw a couple of good stuff by him. So that's important. And the shape is there. I see. We did not try any weird move, which is good. We didn't see anything today. Weird move, like special move, the set piece move, the strike move that you want to say. We didn't see a lot of them. I'm happy for it, because the game was telling us to play some situation more than just play that strike move, because we need that space there against that team. No, for example, in the second half we didn't start playing with pick and go. No more pick and go in the first half. First 20 minutes, yes, pick and go by the 11, by the our wing. Ioane too did the same, but in general, I think good for the heart, good for the feelings, because 57 points are always 57 points. A win is a win. If it's 1 point, or there are 50 points of difference, like in this game. And what else? Ready for Japan next week.
Ready for Japan. I think there's some interesting decisions to be made about who we're going to pick against Japan. I'm hoping that we go for our strongest team against Japan. I think we know. I think more or less. In fact, actually, this could be quite fun. Who would you say, based on the last few games, is our sort of first team for you going into the World Cup, going into Japan?
So let me think about. Man, against Japan, I want to see Nemer again. First of all,
he needs more game time.
Nemer starting, Faiva starting.
Yeah.
Ceccarelli. Think about Alonji is gonna be cut by the team.
I think so.
So I think they're gonna be the same. So Riccioni, until Riccioni is not gonna be 100%. Maybe Ceccarelli is gonna start and Ferrari is gonna end. Yep.
Yep. Agree with that.
What else? Who else? Sisi next week. Yeah. But if you think about the best team, we don't have a lot of other options. I think we're gonna play with Odogu maybe, or Bruno on the wing on the side. Let's see if we're gonna switch. Maybe bringing together for the next game, only for the next game, Odogu and Bruno together, because can be an option. I don't think we're gonna start with Fusco, but just to give Ioane more time, because he played the last 3 games. So okay, chill for the next one. So that
yeah,
and maybe I don't know. Capozzo seems pretty fresh. Doesn't need to, that's the point. He starts where he left.
My boy's just got gold in his feet. He just does what he wants.
Man,
what about 9? So who do you think starts at 9? Martin Page?
9, Varney, Pagerello. So because I think they're gonna bring the 4, so maybe Varney, Pagerello, or Pagerello and Varney. I would like to see Varney starting from the bench because usually it's always the 9 who starts. So let's see how he's gonna react in a game that maybe can do something different, right?
Yeah, no, I'd like to see a little bit more of Martin Pagerello.
And then, man, also, if you think about the centers, are we gonna keep Morisi and Garbisi as an option 12? We're gonna avoid Mori. Mori's gonna go home.
I think Mori will stay. I think Mori, I think what we'll see is Mori maybe be instead of Pani on the bench. I think, although I would like to see Pani start again, just because we need to give that for the exact reason I gave earlier. Like, we need to give him as much game time as possible, and also start maybe understanding, what his strengths are. Like, we know that he's got a monster boot on him, and when's the right time to use that. He's left-footed. I know Garbisi is as well. Then we've got obviously Alan, who's right-footed. Maybe we can start looking at creating some attacking platforms off that, particularly with 50-22s. And I just think if we're going to develop a plan B, he's going to be involved, I think, because I think Capuozzo was a very good plan A with how we attack out of the 22 and how we like to ship it out and flood the center channels and give plenty of running options. That's great, but I think we need a plan B as well, just in case something goes awry.
Yeah, we need more something we didn't see again after a couple of games where we kick at the box kicks. We didn't box kick at all. This game we play. So it's weird because it seems like Crowley is still hiding something. I think we have something else to show, and it's funny, but it's also tricky having a situation like that.
Yeah, I think we've shown exactly what we wanted to show, and I think
that's the right word. What you said.
There's a balance, right? We could go in all out and we can show a hand, but I think if we learn to win games like this, particularly against Namibia, and maybe we'll have to play slightly more against Uruguay. But if we can win games like this, maybe more nitty gritty, more where we have to become more physical and do pick and goes and really grind out the multi phase. Then going into the World Cup against probably 2 of the 3 favourites, we're 2 of the top 3 favourites. I think we're gonna have to do something innovative to try and sort of cause an upset. So mate, listen, I'm quite happy with that. It went as we expected it to go, minus obviously the red card on their side. Although, to be honest,
no injuries, Mike.
No injuries. That's the beauty of it. No injuries, especially after Ireland. We couldn't afford any more. So that's a big W. Glad we were emphasising not to take boys' heads off. That's the most important thing. But
they tried a couple of times against us to the Romanians.
Yeah,
but
I think Monty's one probably get looked at again and probably get sanctioned. But I quite like the fact that Luke Pearce was confident as well with his cards. He was confident red, he was confident yellow. Even the one against us, he was confident. It was the right decision. Can he try?
This is his way. His way to referee is Is it? You don't see difference in his face. You don't see emotions. He's always on chart, on control. So
he's a very, very good referee. Very good referee, and I think we were very lucky to have him this game. But we won the game, 50-point margin, no injuries, no red cards, no suspensions. Learned a little bit more about the team. We move on to Japan. Japan's week after next, isn't it?
Yes, this week, upcoming week.
Next week
It's going to be in Treviso, so it's going to be probably packed. Also, that is really important for us, and hopefully, going to be loud all the time. The supporters there. That's really important, I think.
Yeah, exciting times.
It is. So, Mike, thank you so much. Thank to everybody. Thanks who's gonna listen this long watch along we did today. It was an experiment, but I think went pretty good. I had fun here watching the game. Next game, I'm gonna be, maybe you're gonna be there. Let's say the for the World Cup, but next week we're gonna be watching the game from our sofas. We can say again from the sofa. Nice way to watch it. And
we'll get another watch along going.
Yeah, and let's remember everybody. Then this week we're gonna record another podcast of Fratelli Rugby podcast. You can find us on Spotify, everywhere. Follow us on YouTube, every platform, Apple podcast, Google podcast, where you want. If you want, you can call me. I can listen you the podcast if you need this. If there is the only way to you guys to let listen the listeners. So. And we're gonna have one of the player that was in the field for Italy. So we're gonna record, and everything is gonna be ready for you, Italian rugby fan. So Mike, grazie.
Boom, grazie.
Boom, ci siamo, bellissimo.
Right. So have a lovely.
See you next.
Yeah, have a lovely evening, and
you
for
too,
everyone listening, thank you very much.
And let's see if let's say. Bye to Phantom, bye Pinchetti. I can see Pinchetti here. Of course, with me, there's gonna be some other streaming soon. Not today, the next days about this game, some other stuff. Well, ciao a tutti, ci vediamo presto.